In the previous episode, we explored the large-scale construction of the Great Wall throughout history. Now let's dive into its fascinating structures and design. As you can see, this part of the Great Wall is built of bricks and large rocks. But did you know that not all parts of the wall were built the same way?
The earliest walls were constructed using rammed earth, a technique where soil was compacted into solid layers. Over time, builders began using a mix of earth, rocks, wood, and even natural cliffs to create the wall. During the Ming Dynasty, the eastern sections were primarily built with bricks and stones, while the western sections relied on rammed earth. The Great Wall wasn't just a simple barrier, it was an advanced defense system. It typically consisted of three major components: passes, single towers, and walls. Let's break each one down. Passes were critical strongholds along the Great Wall, usually located at key positions like trade route intersections. These structures were heavily fortified, with ramparts made of large bricks and stones, filled with dirt, crushed rocks. Inside each pass, you'd find access ramps for horses and ladders for soldiers. The outer parapet was crenellated duocle, with gaps for shooting arrows, while the inner parapet, called Nuqiang, was a low wall about 1 meter high to prevent people and horses from falling. The gate within the pass served as an entry point for merchants and civilians, as well as an exit for soldiers to launch counterattacks or patrols. The gate itself was a massive double door made of wood, secured with bolts and locking rings. Above the gate stood a gate tower, functioning as a watchtower and command post. Outside the gate, you'd often find a Wengcheng, a semicircular or polygonal parapet designed to shield the gate from direct attacks. Signal towers, also known as beacons or smoke mounts, were essential for military communication. Built on hilltops for maximum visibility, these towers transmitted message using smoke signals during the day and the beacon fires at night. Other methods included raising banners, beating clampers, or firing guns. The towers were self-contained structures, with lower levels housing soldiers, stables, sheepfolds, and storage areas. When enemies were spotted, soldiers used a system of beacons and cannon fire to signal the threat. For example, 1 to 2 enemies, 1 beacon and 1 cannon. 500 enemies, 2 beacons and 2 cannons. Over 1,000 enemies, 3 beacons and 3 cannons. Over 5,000 enemies, 4 beacons and 4 cannons. Over 10,000 enemies, 5 beacons and 5 cannons. This system allowed for rapid communication across vast distance. The walls themselves are the most iconic part of the Great Wall. On average, they were about 6.5 meters wide at the base and 5.8 meters at the top, with a height ranging from 7 to 8 meters, slightly lower on steep hills. The construction materials varied depending on the location. In some areas, walls were made of tamped earth, sandwiched between wood boards. Others used adobe bricks, a mix of brick and stone, or even natural cliff and river decks. In the western desert, walls were often simple rammed earth structures, while eastern sections, like Badalin, were faced with stone and included additional defensive features. These 2-meter-high structures lined the top of the wall, with large openings for shooting arrows and small loopholes for observation. At intervals of 200 to 300 meters, crenellated platforms protruded from the wall, providing a commanding view and allowing defenders to shoot at attackers scaling the wall. Some platforms had simple huts to shelter guards during storms. Others were multi-story structures used for storing weapons and housing soldiers. To protect the wall from rainwater damage, drainage ditches were built along its length. Now that we have covered the basics of the Great Wall's structure, Would you like to learn about the famous generals and battles associated with it? In the next episode, we will dive into its heroic tales and the dramatic conflicts that shaped the history of the Great Wall. Stay tuned!